NFL players are some of the most respected athletes on the planet and regularly make a habit of doing the impossible on the football field, practice field, and just about anywhere they are able to showcase their talents. They can be so awe-inspiring that sometimes you forget that they are human until they do something really embarrassing. Today, we're going to be covering the most embarrassing on-the-field moments of NFL players. You don't want to miss this. The butt fumble. I thought we would get to this one off the list first, since when people think of embarrassing moments on an NFL field, this one is almost always the first they think of. Poor Mark Sanchez, too, the guy was a superstar at USC, was expected to light it up when he got to the league, and just kinda didn't. The worst moment in his career was inarguably, however, the butt fumble. The game was on Thanksgiving, and all eyes were glued to the AFC East rivalry between the Jets and Patriots. Mark Sanchez took the snap from under center, went to hand the ball off to a running back that wasn't there, panicked, and ran forward right into the backside of his lineman into a collision so hard it knocked the ball free and the quarterback fumbled. The play is hilarious, cringe-inducing, and immortal at all the same time. Leon Lett celebrates too soon. Leon Lett has the distinct honor of being on this list not once but twice, something that I wouldn't think he would be super proud of. The first of his head-scratching blunders is a bit more understandable, but not by much. Playing in Super Bowl 27 for the Cowboys, the defensive tackle scooped up a fumbled ball and began running the other way toward the end zone. Wanting to make the moment a little more special, Leon decided to start showboating, slowing down considerably as he did. This allowed him to get caught and fumbled the ball 2 yards away from what was supposed to be an easy touchdown. Bill recovered the ball, and the only thing that keeps this moment from being even worse is the fact that the Cowboys ended up winning the game. You better thank your lucky stars for that one, Mr. Lett. Tony Romo goes from hero to zero. Sorry, Cowboy fans, but this one is gonna hurt. Former quarterback turned amazing commenter Tony Romo is beloved in Dallas. Heck, he's beloved all over for his down-to-earth demeanor and nice guy antics. It is even more amazing that he went on to have such a great career after this moment, though. The quarterback had taken over for the injured Drew Bledsoe early in the season and took a Dallas team looking to return to contention all the way back to the NFC wildcard game. His rise to stardom was so unexpected that he still was trusted with the holding duties for field goals, which is almost unheard of for a starting quarterback. At the end of the game, the Cowboys were in position to win with a gimme field goal, but Tony muffed the snap. Thinking on his feet, Tony scrambled to the left towards the end zone, but got caught and tackled by a Seahawk at time ticked down to 0. The play still hurts to watch back this day, and couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. On the bright side, things turned out pretty well for Romo. The worst fake punt of all time. Internet personality and former Colts punter Pat McAfee loves to tell this story, and his insight of being actually on the field for this dud of a play makes it all the more interesting. Let's set the stage. It's Colts versus the Patriots, and the Colts wanted to outsmart the king of trickery himself, Bill Belichick. They planned to fake a punt in an attempt to confuse the coach and hopefully draw a penalty or, at the very least, a timeout. The play was never supposed to be a run, but due to poor communication between the special teams coordinator and the center, the play actually began to run and was immediately and utterly crushed. This is the poster child for the saying, "Don't get too cute." The River City Relay. A rare time when one of the most exciting plays in NFL history was followed by its embarrassing. The River City Relay was a multiple lateral play that ended up putting the Saints an extra point away from tying the Jaguars and sending the game to overtime. But, as you could have figured by what video you clicked on, that was not how things went down. Instead, kicker John Carney lined up for the extra point and absolutely whiffed it. The worst part of all was that this whole thing took place all the way back before the NFL moved the extra point back, making it even more terrible to the point where you almost feel bad for the guy, unless you're a Jags fan, I guess. The discount double check disaster. Do you guys remember when Aaron Rodgers used to do the whole discount double check celebration on the field? What a fun time. Stephen Tulloch must have thought so too, because when the Lions and Packers met at Lambeau Field, he decided he wanted to join in on the fun as well. Tulloch sacked Aaron Rodgers in the game, and for his sack dance decided to poke a little fun at the quarterback. Unfortunately for him, that would be the last celebration of his season. The linebacker tore his ACL mocking Aaron and had to be taken off the field. Whether it's karma or just awful luck, I'm sure everyone thought twice about mocking the discount double check again. Man, I wish he would have brought that celebration back. So cool. Dan Orlovsky forces a safety against his own team? Perennial backup Dan Orlovsky today is mostly known for his commentary on ESPN, and actually has a pretty good sense of humor about the whole thing. But man, was this thing weird to watch live. Backed up against his own end zone, Dan was flushed from the pocket by monster pass rusher Jared Allen and began to scramble backwards behind the end zone. You can literally see him still looking down the field as the referee already calls for the safety. This play would encapsulate the Lions' season, as they would end up going 0-16 and bringing shame to all of Detroit. Leon Lett strikes again. You know you would see this guy again, but buckle up because this one is much worse. In a game all the way back in 1993 against the Dolphins on Thanksgiving, the Dolphins lined up for a field goal as snow poured down onto the players, which may have contributed to what was about to happen. The field goal ended up being blocked, and by rule, if the ball completely stops and nobody touches it, the play is ruled dead. Simple enough, right? Well, Leon either forgot this rule or really wanted to make a big play on Turkey Day, because instead, he dove into the ball, or at least tried to. The ball, slippery with snow, squirted out of Leon's hand and rolled down onto the goal line. The Dolphins players, having seen this, scooped up the ball and scored probably the easiest touchdown ever, winning the game 16-14. While the other play is largely forgotten because the Cowboys won, this blunder was a whole other story and is mostly what the defensive tackle is known for these days. Oops. You're going the wrong way. This one is tough to watch, mostly because of how blissfully ignorant Vikings defensive end Jim Marshall scooped up a fumble and began running towards the end zone. His own end zone. Jim looked back a few times, probably because all of his teammates were shouting at him to turn around, but Jim ran on towards the end zone and threw the ball towards the stands, resulting in an easy 2 points for the opposing team. The only good news, the Vikings would go on to win the game, but this is one of those clips that has survived more than 50 years since it happened all the way back in 1964. Tough break, Jim. Getting your chain yanked a few times. Back in 2017, the Broncos were facing their AFC West rivals, Raiders, and Aqib Talib and Michael Crabtree began their own little beef together. Aqib was a corner and tasked with guarding Crabtree at receiver, where they were able to exchange words throughout the game. Things ended up escalating and Aqib yanked Michael Crabtree's chain off of him, a super disrespectful move. The worst part for Crabtree, besides losing something that probably cost a few $1,000s, was that the clip went viral, and when the two met again, all eyes were on them. Crabtree must have expected some shenanigans for their next meeting, because this time he taped the chain to his body. But this still wasn't enough, and Talib yanked his chains off again, in a hilarious but super wild move by the quarterback. DeAndre Hopkins jukes D'Angelo Hall out of his ankles. This one happened in a scrimmage between the Houston Texans and Washington Redskins, and was only captured because the HBO show Hard Knocks was filming for their upcoming season. There was plenty of jawing back and forth between Hopkins and Hall. The young player did not at all back down from the veteran Hall and delivered some amazing juke on a route, not only gaining separation, but actually injuring Hall's ankles and causing him to fall. D'Angelo would actually need medical attention, but I'm still not sure it wasn't just his ego that kept him down for so long. And with that, it wraps up the video. Thanks for watching.